Hello everyone! Today, we're going to be talking about lists in Python. Now, if you want to have a bigger understanding about this subject, you can always check this out. So what is a list? Well, a list in Python is a data type that allows you to store multiple items in a single variable. So you can think of this as a grocery bag. The grocery bag is a variable, and inside of this variable, there are multiple items. In this case, it could be kitchen appliances, food, etc. So all of this put together is called a list. So let's jump into some examples. First, let's create a simple list. So here's how you can do it. We're going to create a variable called myList. It is going to be equal to a list. Now, to instantiate a list, we put brackets. So anything inside of these brackets, well, it is a list. So you can put integers, booleans, strings, etc. But for now, we're going to put integers. So let's put some integers from 1 to 5. Great. Now, let's print this out. We're going to print myList. Now, when we click Run, it is going to show us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So essentially, this code creates a list called myList containing the numbers 1 through 5. So when we print it, you'll see the entire list displayed. Great! Now let's move on to example number 2. Now, let's talk about accessing elements in a list. Now lists are 0 indexed, which means their first element is at index 0. So here's how you can access and print the first element. So after the variable that you have created, put brackets and then put a 0. Now be careful, over here, even though I put brackets, this is not a list. This is what we call indexing. So as mentioned previously, a list starts with the index of 0. So think about what this will print out. So let's click Run and see what happens. When we click Run, it gives us 1. Because the index of 0 corresponding to this list is the number 1. So this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Great! So as you can see, this prints the number 1, but you can also access elements using negative indexing, which starts from the end of the list. For example, to get the last element, which is 5, you do this. We put -1. Now why not -0? Because -0 is the same thing as +0, so it is going to give us 1. It is going to do like if we're in the index of 0. So when we click Run, this is going to output 5. Great! Let's move on to the next section. Lists are super versatile. You can add, remove, and change elements. So let's see how to add elements to a list using the append and insert methods. So above the print, add this. We're going to add myList dot, which instantiates a method. So every time you put a dot after a variable or a list, it gives you a method that you can put. In this case, the method is going to be called append. Now over here, let's put 6. So now, when we click Run, it is going to give us the list, and as you can see over here, it is going to add 6. So the append method adds an element to the end of the list. Great! Now let's talk about the insert method. Instead of append, let's type in insert. Now, over here, we're going to put 2 and then 9. Now let's see what happens. Over here, it shows 1, 2, 9, 3, 4, 5. And that's because over here, we said in the index of 2, put 9. Great! So this method inserts an element at a specific position. So the append method adds the number 6 to the end of the list, and the insert method adds 9 at the index 2, shifting the other elements to the right. Now removing elements is just as easy. You can use remove to delete a specific element, or pop to remove an element at a specific index. So let's start with the method remove. So type in remove over here. And then let's put 3. So now, when we click run, it gives us 1, 2, 4, and 5. But over here on our list, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the remove method removes a specific element. So over here it says, hey, if there's a 3 inside of this list, well, I'm going to remove it. Great. Now, let's go to the second method, which is pop. So instead of remove, let's type in pop. So now, when we click run, it is going to give us 1, 2, 3, and 5. Now, pop removes an element by index. So over here, we give the index, which is 3, and in the index of 3, there's a 4. So it removes the 4. Now the remove method deletes the first occurrence of the number 3. Now the pop method removes the element at index 3. Now I hope this gives you a good overview of how to work with lists in Python. Now if you found this video helpful, go check out codefundamental.com and I'll give you some insights from there.